broken, fallen wickedness, now cleansed, said, "Here am I, send me." We're going to look at what Isaiah has to say this morning. And I realize I didn't get some of the things in my handout that should appear on the overhead. So we're going to do a hybrid thing. We're going to do a hybrid. You're going to get some of it from the handout here and some of it from the overhead. But we're talking about Isaiah the prophet, who proclaims God's messianic promise in a time of darkness and despair. It's a dark time in Israel. Why? Because they have rejected God. A long time they've rejected God. And so the enemies are moving towards them, they're crowding them, and Isaiah said, here am I, send me. Well, when you accept the commission of God, it's not all peaches and cream, right? I think of the man, and this is just kind of one slant on it, the man who bought the field because he found a precious treasure there. He bought the whole field. As I said before, rocks, stumps, brambles, thistles, but there was a treasure there that superseded everything else. And so it's kind of that way when we accept God's commission. Am I moving around too much, Bruce? I can't help it. When you accept God's commission, when you say, "Here I am, send me," you got to expect that it's not going to be all peaches and cream. There are going to be aspects of that, whoa, I didn't sign up for this. You know, when I think about Mary, who was given this annunciation, who at the point of hearing it all and saying, "How could this possibly be?" And the angel had said, "Fear not. You found favor in the Lord's eyes." And at the end of that little discourse, she says, "Be it unto me as you have said." But later on, when she brings the baby into the temple, so she has picked up the treasure and she's taken ownership of the treasure. But later on in the temple, Simeon pronounces a kind of a prophetic word over her where he says he will be, essentially, he will divide Israel. There will be those who, this is probably a really poor paraphrase, there are those who will follow, who will embrace, and there are those who will outrightly reject. And seeing forward, probably didn't tell her and want to take his life and crucify him. But he said, "And it will pierce your heart, pierce your soul." And I think that's why we see so many pictures of Mary. And there's a sword or a dagger through her heart. She bought the whole field. She received it for its beauty, its wonder, the glorious parts, but it also is going to pierce her heart. That her little child had such a huge role to play in what it would cost. So Isaiah the prophet is proclaiming God's messianic promise in a time of darkness and despair. 700 years earlier, he's making this announcement. That's a long time. And I imagine that people were